Chapter 8. We have to get out of here, I told Luna and David. I've been running from that tiger for a while now, David said. He doesn't give up easily. How have you escaped him, I asked. All kinds of ways. Once I climbed a tree that was so high the branches at the top couldn't hold him. He gave up and climbed down. Another time I hid in a troop of wild monkeys. Once an eagle swooped down and distracted him. He chased the eagle and I ran in the other direction. That was lucky, Luna said, but we can't count on a bird showing up just when we need one. We can hatch our own bird, I said. How exactly do we do that? David asked. Unless you're sitting on an egg you haven't told us about. Luna, give me your hat. I think I know where you're going with this, she said with a little smile. She took off her hat and handed it to me. The feathers were wet and muddy from the river, but that worked well for my plan. I put the helicopter in front of me and wrapped the hat around it. Does that look anything like a bird? I asked. It will when I'm finished with it, Luna said. She arranged the feathers carefully, bunching some of them to hold like wings. Others she shaped into a tail, and then she took a brown clip out of her hair and snapped it on the front. Can't be a bird if it doesn't have a beak, she said. I hope this thing isn't too heavy to fly, I said. I picked up the remote and pressed the throttle. The whirring started up, and slowly the helicopter rose into the air. We have liftoff, I cried. The feathery thing circled the cave. It wasn't the most real-looking bird I'd ever seen, but it wasn't bad either. Do you think this will trick the tiger? Luna asked me. We have a shot. Maybe to Tiger Eyes this will look like a delicious turkey dinner. The sound of the whirring had excited the tiger again. His paw clawed even faster at the ground. The boulder wiggled a bit and he was making progress. So here's the big question, Luna said. How do we get out of the cave and launch this thing without the tiger snatching us? We were quiet. That was a tough question. Then David got up and took the controller from my hand. You mind if I try operating this? He asked. It looks like fun. This isn't really the best time to be playing with toys, I told him. But by that time he had already had his hands on the throttle. The bird-like helicopter zoomed wildly in the air. It looked like it was going to crash into the cave wall. You have to control it, I said. Press the throttle to the left. Now right. Now down. Good. Go easy. Just hover 2 or 3 feet off the ground. I'm getting it, David said. That's good. Now maybe you should stop playing with it. We have to figure out how to get out of the cave. I already have, David said. Here's the plan. I'll go first. I'll hover the helicopter right in front of the tiger's nose, and then whoosh, I'll send it flying in the air. With any luck, he'll take off after it. You guys can sneak out and run in the opposite direction, back to the river. What about you? I asked. Don't worry about me, he said. I know my way around this jungle. I'll meet up with you. Maybe we should wait until it's dark out, Luna suggested. We can't, I said. We can't, I said, looking at my Batman watch. It's almost 5 o'clock. So, what happens then? Well, if my theory is right, that's when the magic hour ends, the hour of power. Tiger, what are you talking about? Luna asked. Remember when Viola talked about how the frame had an hour of power? I think it's from 4 to 5 o'clock. That's why the frame's power got active when I set the clock to 4. And I bet at 5 they're over. Luna rubbed her chin like she was thinking hard. And after that, whoever's left inside the painting stays inside. That's what I think. That would explain what happened to me, David said. I was tossing about for hours in that storm, and when I finally woke up in the grand hall of the castle with all those strange paintings around me, it was way past 5. But if we're back at the very spot where we landed at 5 o'clock, then maybe we'll be able to go back into the painting and return home, I said. It's our only hope anyway. Do you know what that means, David? Luna said. If Tiger's theory is right, you can come home with us. Luna broke into a big smile and threw her arms around him. That was a brave thing to do, considering he hadn't had a bath in 50 years. Let's just get out of this cave first, was all he said. I pointed to my watch. It was nearing 5 o'clock. We don't have long. We have to move fast. David, are you ready? Let's fly this thing, he said. He took the helicopter and placed it at the mouth of the cave. The tiger had removed his paw, but I could hear him sniffing at the entrance. He smelled human flesh. Good luck, everyone, David said. He stuck his head out of the opening. Then, quick as a cheetah, he squirmed out of the cave. As soon as he was out, I heard the whirring of the helicopter. We have liftoff, David yelled. I crept over to the opening and peeked outside. I saw the helicopter hovering in midair, a few feet from the cave entrance. The tiger was tracking it with his eyes. David was behind one of the boulders, his hand clutching the controller. Okay, boy, David whispered. Let's see what you've got. He pushed his thumb on the throttle and the helicopter zoomed through the air. The tiger followed it with his glowing yellow eyes. All at once he sprang to his feet. Turning his powerful body in the direction of the helicopter, he took off, running. The chase was on. Chapter 9. Luna poked her head outside the cave. I can't see them, she whispered. It's all clear. She crawled out of the opening and reached back in to help me out. Think skinny and get out of here, she said. I wished I was as thin as David, but then he probably wished he'd had a tuna melt for lunch. I tried going out feet first this time, and it worked better. I wiggled and squirmed my way out of the cave with only a little help from Luna. The rain had stopped. Some sun filtered through the trees. I looked around for signs of David or the tiger. There weren't any. Look, Luna said over there. 2 sets of footprints led off into the jungle. One set was human. The other was tiger. They were headed in the opposite direction of the river. Now's our chance, I said. Let's go. We only have a few minutes. I can run like the wind, Luna said. She took off into the grove of trees. We sprinted across the soggy jungle floor, and soon we were at the river. We jumped in and swam fast, all the way to the other side. Now where? Luna asked. We have to head back to the exact spot where we landed, I said. Can you get us there? Yes, she said. I remember what it looked like in the painting. Tall grass, a big blue-green tree surrounded by a clump of red jungle flowers, and a tiger crouched near the tree. I was hoping you wouldn't remember that part, I said. I'm not happy about seeing him again. We took off running across the jungle. Then rain started up, coming down in heavy silver streaks, and soon we passed the thicket of tall grass where we had stopped to rest. There are the red flowers, Luna said, pointing to a clearing up ahead. And that's the tree where the tiger was crouching when we landed. We bolted for the spot. When we reached it, I checked my watch. It was 2 minutes to 5. Okay, we're here. Now what? Luna asked. Now we wait until 5 o'clock, and then we see what happens. We have to find David, Luna said. I put my hands up to my mouth and called out, David! David! We're over here! Come here and hurry! There was no answer. David! I called again. I heard a whirring sound nearby. I looked up and saw the helicopter hovering next to the big dark tree where we stood. But where was David? Then I saw him still clutching the controller in one hand. He was starting to climb up the trunk of the tree. The tiger was approaching the tree, growling at the feathery helicopter. David, you can't go up there, Luna called. You have to come with us. I'm going to the top, he called back. The tiger knows not to follow me there. I'll be safe. But you'll be out of the picture, I called to him. There's no top of the tree in the painting. Yes, but there is a tiger in the painting, he called, and he's ready to pounce, just like this one. If we copy the painting exactly, that will get you home. But David, Luna called, what's going to happen to you? So long, you two, he shouted. Maybe someday we'll meet again, and I'll return your helicopter. I heard a low growl. I turned to see the tiger's attention had switched from the fake bird to us. He was standing directly under the tree. Crouched down on all fours, his eyes glowed, and his jaws hung open, showing his sharp teeth. He sniffed the air, ready to attack. It was just like in the painting. He took a step toward us. "Oh no!" Luna screamed. Just then, the hand on my Batman watch moved. Big hand on the 12, little hand on the 5. "It's the hour of power," I yelled. "The hour of power," Luna joined in. "The hour of power," we heard David say from the treetop. Our voices echoed through the jungle. The tiger froze in mid-step. The world seemed to stop. Before we knew it, the jungle disappeared and we were tumbling back into darkness. Chapter 10. All I remember seeing were the stairs, thousands of them. I don't know if we were climbing them or flying over them. We tumbled head over heels through the darkness. I had the feeling we were moving at the speed of light. "Tiger!" I heard Luna's voice echo all around me. "I'm here," I called back to her. As we somersaulted through space, the sound of the rain and thunder grew dimmer and dimmer. The sound of ripping grew louder, and then I saw the hole in the painting. Was that a face at the other end of it? I squinted. Yes, it was. The face of an orange pig. In one tremendous burst of speed, we shot out of the painting into Viola Dot's living room. We knocked poor Chives to the ground. Immediately, I spun around to look at the painting, just in time to see the hole close up completely. The sound of wind and thunder stopped. The air became still. The painting looked like it always had. It was as if nothing happened. "Oh my," Viola Dots was screaming. "We thought we'd never see you again." Luna climbed off Chives and started to talk in great gushes of words. "We were there," she said, "in the jungle painting, and we saw David. He's been all over. He lives in whatever painting is in the frame. His hair is really messy, and he loves helicopters. He's there, right now in the jungle." "You saw him?" Viola said. "But why didn't he return with you?" "He stayed back to save our lives," Luna said. "If he hadn't, we would have been attacked by that tiger. He's a hero. Your son is a hero, Mrs. Dots." "But if he's still there, then he's in danger," she said. "That tiger, those jaws." She was right. "Come with me, Chives," I said. "We have to replace that painting." I hurried over to the wall. Quickly, I flipped through several of Viola's paintings. "There," I said. "This is a good one." It was a painting of old-fashioned men and women all dressed up. Some were carrying umbrellas. They were strolling in a park by the side of a peaceful river. Beautiful boats sailed by. Everyone looked like they were having a wonderful time. Chives and I carried the painting over to the frame. We lifted out the tiger painting and replaced it with the beautiful scene by the river. "David should be safe there," I told Mrs. Dots. "Ah, yes," Chives said. "Paris is lovely in fine weather." "Nonsense," Viola cried. "We can't leave poor David there. He belongs at home with me. You must go back and get him immediately." I looked at my watch. It was 5 minutes after 5. The hour of power was over. "We can't," I told her. "I would go myself," she said, "but I'm too old. I'd never survive the journey." "I would be pleased to go, madam," Chives said. "Don't be ridiculous, Chives," she snapped. "You're a pig. Do you see any pigs in that painting?" Chives looked a little hurt. Luna went to him and patted him on his chubby belly. "You are a very handsome pig," she said. "The best dressed pig I've ever met." That seemed to make him happy. "The hour power is over for today," I explained to Mrs. Stotts. "If my theory is right, I think it only lasts from 4 to 5 o'clock. "Fine. Then come back tomorrow at 4, she said, "and you'll bring my son back to me." "We're having a family picnic in the park tomorrow at 4, Luna said. "I can't come then." "And I have a soccer game," I said. "I can't miss it. I'm the team's secret weapon." To be honest, I am not the team's secret weapon. In fact, on a very good day, I'm a below average soccer player. And another thing, I didn't know what time my soccer game was. I just wanted some time to think things over before I went zooming back into another painting. Luna and I were lucky that we escaped the jungle this time. Another day, we might not be so lucky. But Viola Dotts is not the kind of woman who likes to hear the word no. "When will you come back?" she said. "Monday? Tuesday? Wednesday?" I didn't answer. "Honestly, am I going to have to name every day of the week?" she said. Luna went up to Viola. "I will help you find David," she said. "But the first thing I'm going to do is give you a big hug. My grandma says that a hug is the best medicine for whatever is hurting you." Luna put her arms around Viola's waist. "Come on, Tiger," she said. "You too." I wasn't exactly thrilled about the idea, so I kind of threw one arm around her and one around Luna. Just for a second, though. I thought Viola Dotts was going to faint right then and there. I've never seen anyone look so surprised. Chives grinned and let out a squeaky little pig giggle that didn't go with his top hat and tie. Then we all let go of one another. Viola straightened her headband and her necklace. "Then it's settled," she said. "Are you in, Tiger?" Luna asked me. I wasn't about to let Luna Lopez be braver than me. "I'm in if you're in," I answered. "I'll wait to hear from both of you," Viola said. "Just make it soon. Oh, and tell no one. Until David is found, no one must know. I won't have the whole neighborhood chattering about this." As we left the house, I could hear Viola asking Chives for a cup of tea. "Not too full," she barked, "and not too hot, but not too cold either. 2 sugars, and I need some more green paint. Not too dark, but not too light either." We headed back to our duplex just as my mom and Maggie were pulling up in the driveway. "I see you and Luna have become friends," my mom said. "Did you kids do something exciting this afternoon?" "We just hung out," I said. "Turns out there's a lot of interesting things to see right here in our neighborhood." I could see Luna stifle a giggle. Maggie climbed out of the car. Her face was covered in chocolate frosting. Obviously, she hadn't understood that the Elmo cakes weren't for her. "Did you see any orange pigs?" she asked. "Just one," I answered. "He says hi." "Goody," she said. "I'm going to go draw a picture of him." The little frosting face skipped happily down the driveway and into the house. "That's nice of you, Tiger," my mom said. "It's good to encourage a child's imagination." Wow, Mom, I thought. If you could only imagine what I've seen. If you could know that Luna and I traveled over time and space into the world of art. No, there's no way anyone could imagine that. But I'm here to tell you, it actually happened. And I had a feeling it was going to happen again very soon. The end. Now in the back, there's information about the painting, which is called Surprised, or Tiger in a Tropical Storm. And again, the artist is Henri Rousseau. And it has a little description of the painting, so I'm going to read that to you. Surprised, sometimes called Tiger in a Tropical Storm, is a real work of art painted in 1891 by the French artist Henri Rousseau. It shows a tiger lit up by a bolt of lightning about to attack its prey in the midst of a raging storm. It was created with oil paints on canvas. Rousseau used many layers of paint and many shades of green to capture the colorful feel of the jungle. He used strands of silver paint scattered diagonally across the canvas to depict the wind-blown rain. Notice in the painting that we never see what the tiger is hunting. Its prey is beyond the edge of the canvas, so we are left to wonder what the result of the hunt might be. Henri Rousseau was born on May 21, 1844, in Laval, France. As a young man, he worked for a lawyer and then served in the army. When he moved to Paris, he became a tax collector at the entrance to the city. He worked at that job until he was almost 50. Only then did he become a full-time artist. Here's a map of France. Rousseau is known as a self-taught painter, which means he never formally studied art. During his lifetime, his work was not accepted by the official art world in Paris. In fact, when he first showed Surprise in 1891, it was made fun of by art reviewers. Many critics thought his work was childish. Rousseau is best known for his paintings that show humans or wild animals in jungle settings. Surprised is the first of his jungle paintings. These paintings often have a dreamy quality. They are not representations of an actual jungle. Rousseau never saw a real jungle. In fact, he never even left France. Instead, he studied plants and animals at the botanical gardens in Paris and learned to draw wild animals from books and magazines. Perhaps that is why his paintings do not seem realistic. Later in his life, Rousseau's work was discovered by new generations of young artists who liked the strong emotions his paintings showed. When Rousseau died in 1910, he had made very little money from his art. Yet his paintings went on to influence a generation of famous artists. Today, they are among the most well-known paintings in the world of art. Surprise hangs in the National Gallery in London, England. So that was Danger Tiger Crossing, the first book in the Fantastic Frame series. There are 5 in the series, and each one takes place, like I said, in a famous painting. So it might be something you might want to look into for future reading. Danger Tiger Crossing by Lynn Oliver in the Fantastic Frame series takes place in a famous painting. And something I thought might be fun for you to do would be to look up some famous paintings and maybe pick one that you think might be fun to go into, like they went into the Surprise Tiger painting in this book. You could find one, and then you could make up a story of what it would be like to be in that painting, what kind of adventures you might find there. And if you can't find a painting that you would like, you could make your own picture and draw a picture and then write a story about what would be happening in that picture if you were actually in the picture. Another thing you could do is make your own fantastic frame. So I took a piece of paper and I drew a picture frame, and then I cut out the middle and made my frame. And then I found a picture that I had from a calendar, and you could put that right in the frame. And then you could write a story about that. Or you could put your own drawing in the frame and write a story about that. And then when that picture got boring and you wanted to do a different one, you could just swap out the pictures for something else. So that would be something you could do to follow up with the story and maybe have some fun at the same time. See you later.